often do you find yourself wanting to run across the canvas and become a part of the scene? Because everyone seems to be dressed to the nines, to be enjoying what appears to be an abundance of fine food and drinks, and to be having a wonderful time because the sun is shining, the sky is blue, and the grass is green. Just a brief visit here would be like being transported to paradise. However, this painting is not what you think it is. Roses of Heliogabulus is what Dutch artist Sir Lawrence Alma-Tadema titled his work. The name is appropriate. There are numerous rose petals, maybe an excessive amount. A banquet hosted by Roman Emperor Heliogabulus or Elagabalus is shown here. Even though Alma-Tadema painted this in 1888, the event shown here occurred in the early 200s AD. If the tale of this meal has survived for over 600 years, it must have been a good one. This picture really shouts of decadence and relaxation to me. There are guests sitting at the table in the backdrop. Some are relaxing in the foreground, and it's clear that some are astonished by the roses and rose petals that are falling from a low ceiling above them, while others are not. The golden figure somewhat off-center to the left immediately catches our attention. Heliogabulus's mother and grandmother plotted a coup against the reigning emperor in 218 AD, which resulted in Heliogabulus becoming emperor. This was one of his most famous parties, and he was notorious for going to extremes while entertaining. However, if you take a good look at the expressions of the visitors in the foreground, you'll see that things started to go downhill. All of a sudden, people are freaking out, and for good cause. Heliogabulus isn't generous, but he's smothering them. Some of them have already suffered serious injuries, while others are now only realizing what has happened to them. A lady holding a pomegranate seems to be absorbing what's happening as she stares at us directly with a helpless, perplexed expression on her face. The mood of the setting abruptly shifts from airy and bright to dark and frightening. This must be a huge wonder. Surely he just intended to surprise them with a gorgeous shower of roses, and he simply added too many by mistake, right? Wrong. Is it possible that he has psychotic tendencies? Is everybody here a psychopath? It was only natural for me to follow the gaze of the other diners to figure out what they were concentrating on. Some of them seemed to be looking directly into the eyes of those who are about to die. Heliogabulus is frightening. You can tell he's pleased with himself because of the expression on his face. His easy position, as if he were laying down to read a book rather than about to commit murder, only serves to heighten the impression that he is completely insane. This picture gives us a glimpse into the mind of a troubled person, at least in my opinion. Even when people are dying, everything seems happy and cheerful. So who is this Heliogabulus? It's hard to distinguish truth from fiction. He was the focus of several exaggerated stories. The children he allegedly sacrificed all had two parents, ensuring that they would suffer the most possible emotional distress. From here on out, things only get stranger. He allegedly chose his advisors based on the size of their genitalia. He supposedly created a senate consisting entirely of women, which was unheard of at the period. History books vary on whether Heliogabulus identified as he, a she, or a they, but he was certainly the first trans emperor. Word on the street has it that Heliogabulus once begged to be treated as a woman and even wanted to undergo a medical transformation so that she may be properly acknowledged as such. Legend has it that at one of his feasts, he invited many people but only fed the elite's actual food, while the rest of the guests were given false food made of wood or wax that appeared genuine until they tried it. His grandmother had had enough of his brief rule, so she had him killed. His young cousin, Severus Alexander, was installed as king. Heliogabulus has been portrayed in history books as a psychotic cool guy, but now it seems that his cousin was using these tall tales as part of a larger smear campaign designed to legitimize the coup that ultimately led to him and his ascension to power. What do you make of this? If there is a moral to this story, it might be that while Grandma may lift you up, she can just as easily crush you down.